Hey, what is up guys? So I want to showcase off real quick two different builds of the Cybers. Now the Cybers is a new archetype. There's only a few cards out right now, but this could be a stepping stone video, give you guys some ideas for other decks. Now I'll show you guys two different builds over here, and it's just going to be a really quick game over here with the Darkworlds, because the Darkworld player over here has got the Dimension Bear. But it just shows you guys that you guys can mess around with this in Darkworld, and the opponent goes ahead and says, I quit. You know, welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Nowadays with that Dimension Bear and main deck and everything. That's how some games are just with Zodiacs in general. But nonetheless, I think Link Slayer is a pretty cool card. So you're able to, once per turn, you get to discard up to 2 cards, then target that many spell and trap cards on the field and destroy them. And then also, if you control the monster, you can just special summon that card from your hand. So it's really cool. And there's an error right now on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. It doesn't know what the heck a Cyber is. It's a new type of a monster. But anyways, this is a better replay over here. Well, almost the wrong one over here. But nonetheless, I know a lot of you players like Shaddolls. You guys might have them lying around. Maybe that bandless construct, can we get it to 1? But nonetheless, we're going to be seeing some Shaddolls mixed in with the Link cards, specifically Link Slayer. I think this is the only card that's actually really like good in the archetype. Not too many people set back row anyways. It kind of forces out back row by your opponent. If they don't, then you just go ahead and get rid of your cards. And then obviously, if you know, your opponent has no back row, this card is still good. It's still got 2,000 attack. There's other cards that do support it, lets you do piercing. But this guy's going to go ahead and he's playing some token ding dong deck, escape ghost, like, what the heck is this? But I mean, it's 4,000, right? But nonetheless, you could definitely see how the Link Slayer card could be good in Shaddolls. I was also thinking potentially maybe someone might try a build with the Fabled. Now, Fabled's obviously not the best deck going into the future, but you know, sometimes players can be innovative in the game. But anyways, he's going to go ahead and just attack over his own card over here. And his opponent's just got tokens. Not looking too good for the guy playing the token equipped deck. There's also like a jam breeder. There's a lot of things that supports tokens, but it's really not viable. The whole idea of this video was to showcase off two different builds, and also I'll give you guys a deck profile of both of them, so you guys can go ahead and mess around with some of these. Maybe you have some of these older cards lying around, you're not using them, put them to use. Maybe pick some of these up now if this is something that you might be interested in, because I feel like Darkworlds is definitely a deck that does not need to link summon at all. It's a little bit of a slower deck, kind of a deck that was really powerful in the past, but going into the future, we do have Alert Darkness at 3, which is a very strong draw power card in that deck. Also, you know, Tour Guide going into Levier to get back other Darkworld cards can still be a very decent play when you banish those cards with Allure of Darkness. But anyways, we got the Hippo token over here. Again, this player is probably just going to go ahead and get wrecked, but he's got the token Stampede over there, so all tokens gain 1,000 attack, but it's really just not viable at all here in 2017 to try to do that. But he went ahead and summoned that card. He did it for the Vine over there, but nonetheless, I just wanted to showcase off the new Cybers. Now, like I said, right now we only have 3, and some of you guys asked me to cover it, and I'm like, well guys, there's only 3. Oh well, you know what, we'll go ahead and cover it. I mean, we can go over their effects. Now, again, Link Slayer is pretty much the only one I see viable in the game that can run it in like a spicy tech and a lot of different things. So again, you control no monsters, you can just go ahead and special summon it, and then once per turn, you can discard up to 2 cards and target that many spell or trap cards in the field and destroy them. If it was cards, it would be so much better, but because it has to be spell and trap cards, I guess it's more of that pendulum hate, honestly. That's how I kind of feel Link Slayer's role is. But it still definitely baits out the back row, but also, you know, with Twin Twisters, obviously you have to discard another card and then obviously Twin Twisters. So it's like 2 cards, whereas this card, it still has that ability to be a monster, so you can use it for your Link summons. And that's really where I feel like this card can be really good, because I know his name is the Link Slayer, but I feel like he guarantees your Link summons will go through, because he summons himself for free, gets rid of the back row, and then you still have your normal summon, and then you can use this card as one of the Link materials. So I think he's not bad. I think he definitely has a lot of potential in the future. Now going to the other cards, we didn't really get to see any of them because honestly they're not very good. But anyways, Ram Clouder. Well, actually, hold on. They're not good right now. When we get other support, it might be a little bit more viable in the future. But anyways, Ram Clatter, so you contribute 1 monster, then target 1 Cybers type monster in graveyard and special summon it. You can only use this effect of Ram Clatter once per turn. So I think that's an okay effect. It depends on what we get. Again, right now the best card is just going to be, of course, Link Slayer. Now they also have Piercing, which I thought was interesting. So they might have bigger monsters again later down the line. It's a very new archetype. Anyways, once per turn, you get to target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls, change into defense position. If you do, for the rest of this turn, monsters you control cannot attack except to attack that monster. Also, if a cyber monster you control attacks a defense position, you get to inflict piercing. I don't really feel like this card's good. I know, you know, it's new. You might as well just throw it in all the decks. And I'll give you guys like a brief rundown of both of the versions of the deck. I think the Darkworld one might have a little bit more potential just because Darkworlds are really dirty. Like, Drag Down into the Grave is still one of the dirtiest cards, I think, in the game that hasn't been hit. A lot of cards like Trap Dust Shoot, Confiscation, all these cards that let you see your opponent's hand usually get banned. But that is one card that Darkworlds still have. But anyways, I know a lot of you guys have these lying around. I'll give you guys the deck profile as seen in the video. Obviously, you guys can make changes due to, you know, your liking and stuff like that. But just quick little deck profiles for you guys. So Shaddolls Beast, when it's discarded, you get a draw card. And then we got, of course, Link Slayers at triple. Then we got double Dragons to get rid of the spell and traps. Then we have 3 Squamata to send whatever you want. That's a Shaddolls, then it lets you basically set up. And then we have 3 copies of Ram Clatter, 2 copies of Cybers Wizard. I feel like most of these were just ran just so there was the Cybers. We're just showcasing them here in the video. But nonetheless, I feel like Ram Clatter has potential. Link Slayer is already pretty decent of a card. And then Cybers Wizard, I don't know about it right now. But next up we have triple copies of Hedgehog, then triple copies of Falco. So a Hedgehog lets you get a Shaddolls spell or trap. Falco lets you special summon a Shaddolls. Keep in mind, you can get the Shaddolls fusions, which really makes Falco good. Next up, triple Lord of Darkness, double copies of Shaddolls fusion. We got a Soul Charge, L Shaddolls fusion, 2 Twin Twisters, triple copy of Sinister Shadow Games, 3 copies of D-Barrier. It's kind of what the meta has evolved into. Lock your opponent out of playing, and I know the Darkworld was an excellent example of just Dimensional Barrier, just being Dimensional Barrier. And then we have 2 copies of Solemn Strike and the 1 Warning. And then I personally always think Strike's better than Warning because once the card is out on board, Strike still has more value. That's the way I see it. Plus, this card's cheaper anyways in terms of like life point cost. In real life, it costs more money. But also, I wanted to give you guys the other deck profile for the Darkworld one because I know a lot of you guys are on that hype train of let's hate the Link monsters. And I think Darkworlds is definitely a deck that can get away with not playing any of the Link monsters. But I do want to recommend this card, Levy Air. If any of you guys are maybe budget players, okay, I understand. We'll take out the Solemns, we'll take out the Dimensional Barriers. Put in other cards, but for the most part, this deck is very, very budget friendly. Unless, of course, this card is a secret rare TCG. We don't have that information out yet. But nonetheless, Levier and Tour Guide is a really good option. Tour Guide. Like I mentioned before, I don't really like Cybers Wizard or the Ram. This Link Slayer is definitely good in the deck, but oh, put it aside over here. So Tour Guide is a really good card, and there's also a few Darkworld cards that can be targets. Well, the good one is actually Brow. There's another target, but you don't want to play. So you go Tour Guide into Brow, and then you detach, and then get back maybe a Snow that you banished, or whatever you banished with Gates, you can get back, and then from there, you're good to go. And, you know, Grappa is still a pretty decent little card over there. And then on top of that, he's playing 3 copies of Lucent. So this is kind of a card people aren't familiar with. So if it's discarded to the graveyard by a card effect, you get to special summon it. And then if it's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 Fiend type monster from your deck to either side of the field. That's an insane effect. Lucent is absolutely amazing. But going back to my point of just making the deck a little bit more budget, Tour Guide is like a dollar, right? Like I don't think that card's expensive anymore. But also some cards that I can recommend: Malefic. Any of the Malefic cards are relatively cheap. Specifically Cyber and Dragon, just one, by the way, just one if you're just doing this. And obviously put 1 in the extra deck, the corresponding card. Some people were doing Malefic Stardust Dragon a long time ago when this deck was really popular, and that also did win some tournaments. This is 2000. Okay, I don't remember the exact dates. I don't want to get it wrong. But you guys know, Darkworlds won, okay? Darkworlds was a very, very meta deck at one point. But nonetheless, yeah. Throwing in one of these is definitely not bad. Now, the only problem that you'll run into when you play this card, which is Drag Down into the Grave, is that you have to utilize like all your cards. So drag down into the grave, both players reveal their hands. Each chooses one card from their opponent's hand, then you discard the chosen cards from both players' hands, then both players draw one card. So basically, you use all the cards you can, and if you have, okay, look, let's put it this way, even if you have the non-Darkworld cards with Link Slayer, you can technically discard them anyways, and then at that point you don't have to worry about them. Yes, you're not getting good value out of the cards you discarded, but it's neutralizing the cards at the end of the day anyways, and then you get your bonus effects with the Darkworld with Drag Down. I think Drag Down is such a dirty card, and then to combo with this Drag Down, if your opponent has 2 copies of something, Mind Crush, it could be an excellent card. Also, if you guys want to play Dark Smog, this can also be a card. I was never really a fan of like the gold, maybe 1 gold. I never really was a fan of Lucent either, but nonetheless, it's all up to you guys on how you guys want to run the deck. Obviously, you guys can make changes to it. I do not really recommend playing lots of Maxis, or, well, you can only play 2 now. If you are playing Soul Charge, though, I definitely recommend a better extra deck. I guess this one was just kind of just there. I mean, Soul Charge is still a pretty dirty card to get back the Graphas anyways, and then you get to bounce back the Darkworld cards. It could be really good, but yeah, like I said, Levier is a really good simple combo, and I know it's been a while since I talked about Darkworlds because, you know, the deck's kind of been irrelevant, but with 3 Alert of Darkness and a lot of people not interested in playing the whole Link decks that are coming out in the game, I figure I'd give some other decks a shout out. I feel like the Shaddolls deck can function pretty well without Links, because like a lot of times these days, like, well, if Construct came back, like Construct, it protects itself already. Window already kind of prevents things from coming out anyways, so I think Window could be a decent card against Link Summon, because they go for that 1 Link Summon monster, they put their Link card there, and then that's it. That's the 1 special summon they get. So I don't know, Shaddolls could be a little bit good. Again, these are for more players that just are not interested. But I think what we'll do, guys, we'll probably make a video dedicated towards like the top decks that we can play that don't really require Link Summoning. Obviously, Link Summoning, if you can do it in some of these decks, it's not bad. But I think that Darkworld definitely can function without Link Summons. But yeah, those are the showcase of the new Cybers, the new archetype. I'm not actually know if they're actually supposed to all be an archetype, but new Cyber stuff, there it is, boys, enjoy. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and let me know what other decks are great that are not going to be requiring links. I'll probably make a video dedicated towards that real soon, but love to get you guys' feedback on that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'm signing out.